Okay, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you data-driven Katalon. So I'm going to run an example of how my endpoint and show you how I got there. So here we go. Chrome, web page will open. And what do I mean by data-driven? The data actually dictates as to what's going to be inputted to the script. Traditionally, people go, okay, let's just record and playback and then enter in whatever it is that we want with each recording. Let's say with each person that you're going to enter into that website, and I'll show you it in a second. Excuse me there. You would have to come up with a different recording. So we have email, name, phone number, and comments. Now, with that, if you want to enter in multiple different emails, just say you want to be sure that your email is getting through and you actually have maybe half a dozen test emails with different domain names. You just want to make sure that it goes through properly. You're not going to go record playback each and every time. So what we did is we actually data drove it. But in this case, in order to data drive it, you need an Excel file, and a test suite, which is right here. So I'm going to run it to show you the difference between running once and many times. So here we are. We're executing this script. Coming down Chrome by default. And then you run. First time you saw it, it'd say, hey, look, it only ran one time. Now, this time, you'll note that the web comes up, the web page comes up, and it actually enters in data, submits, and then closes the web browser. And we start all over again. As you can see, different names are appearing. And this data is actually coming in from an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to recreate this actual script and probably change it a little bit. Not much from the actual entry of data, but the way that I'm looking at the objects. So as you can see, they all passed. I didn't put really any checkpoints per se, but we did actually see the data being manipulated. So let's start off with a new recording. Here is our website that we're going to go to. I'm going to make sure that I do not have any other browsers open, just because it's a pain in the butt to balance between them. So while I'm doing that, I'll just start recording. Oh, I did record. So here we are. And we go into Chrome, new browser. So notice that this browser, what's here is where the browser actually pops up to. So let me take this to the right, just or left a little bit so that we can actually see it as we're selecting objects. So I click here and let me enter in Tom Thumb at mymail.com. Now we can say, let's take a look at the objects, and we do verify and highlight. It says one object. So it's this object right here that's associated with it. If we don't think that, what we can actually do is, seeing that we entered in Tom Thumb, let's do Jan Thumb. And then just right click, run selected steps. You see, there you go. It should be highlighting, but I don't know why it's not. It should be doing this. So let's continue with the recording. Now, with name, obviously, Jan Thumb. Phone number, I'll put a fake one in. And comment, please email me. And then at this point here, click submit. Now you see it's highlighting now. Let's go up to the comments field, verify. Notice that highlights. We haven't gotten to the data drive part yet. But there's different attributes you can use. We'll just stick with XPath for now. So here we go. We click OK. Then it'll say, oh, wow, I have all of these. Now, I could always put them here. Landing page. Click OK. So we're going to call this, let's say, sample 2. I'm going to call it data drive. Data drive my test. Click OK. Now, so what do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have email, name, phone, and comments. Now, if you come back, let's put this here. If you come back here to number 1, we actually put in what is referred to as a variable. That is something that we store data in. So we had a name of email, and whenever we want to associate email that we have in the default value, we just use the value email. So before we start doing that, let's see if I could just cheat and copy and paste. In the variables. Obviously not. So let's see, what do we have here? Under data-driven, variable. So we have email. So we come back down here again. Variable, we add. The variable is right here. Email. And let's say we will put in let's do this G.I. Joe at, what were they? Army dot military. So there we go. Our first one will be email. Our second one, oh, that was a simple one. Okay. I would say our second one would be name. Now, mind you, for this case, we're going to have nothing but strings. So the name is G.I. Joe. Then after that, we could come back here. I'm sorry, here, and say phone. Come in here and say 888-123-1234. And then from there, we have what are the comments. So go add, double click on the variable, comment, and you could just go phone me, please. So now we've got our variables. Oh, but wait, how do we enter this into our script? Well, here we could just double click, change it to a variable, and go, first one is email address. Click OK. Second one is email, where are we at? Variable. Name. So let me cheat. There's another way to do this. You can actually go to the actual script, and you see email. Okay, now here, we could just type in phone and not have to deal with clicking it, changing it to a variable name. It'll automatically get there. So let's go back to the manual, and you could see phone. So it's up to you. You select whether or not you just want to double click on the input to select it, just in case, so you can actually spell it correctly. Sometimes you can have a typo, or you can actually go into the script and enter it here. Now, let's do this quickly and change this to a variable. Double click this, make this into a comment. Now, we run this again. Before I do, I want to confirm that we do have there it is. We do have something there. Let's go back to manual, and let's say run it in Chrome. So there you go, and then click submit. As you can see, it cleared out. I'm not I didn't close the I should put it closed, but I didn't close it. But now we can come in here and say, under the sample, we could do a create new test suite and call it sample run suite 2. Put this in the description too, might as well. Now, we could drag and drop this here, then show the data binding. Oh, lo and behold, this is the part that got me at first, is that you should define your variables within the test case first, and then bring it here. What we also do is let's see, what did I use for? This one here, I did a sample Excel. We're running the same test, so might as well use it. And just do an add, sample Excel. I do the Control S just to save. And then from here, I just do is run Chrome. We sit back, and we don't even have to run separate test scripts or manually enter anything in. It will come up. There you go. There you go, and it will be submitted. And then at that point, it'll close. Then another one will come up, hopefully. So what I have under sample data is sample Excel data. It only ran once. And this is under data file sample Excel. So this is the location of it. So it's Katalon. And I'm going under. Okay, Katalon data. Let's see, how many rows do I really have? I should have 3. The only thing I can think of, and I did this in the first one too, is wait for element. So let's go over here. Copy, paste. So we can always do wait for visible. Okay, now how do we get rid of the input? Good to know. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we'll get more than one. There we go. Oh, well, that was red. Let's go back to test 2. Let's get rid of U. Delete. Insert. Before. And do wait for. Text contact email. Import email. Let's see if it'll work now. It's coming. It is working. Perfect. I can also do is, my concerns are this, is Web UI keyboard key alert, close browser, do a save, and then at that point, Chrome. Oh, I think I forgot something very major. Now, notice how the data is going to be defaulted to G.I. Joe. Because I forgot to do one major thing, and that's the reason why I'm having issues. You come back here, and you select this, you do map all, 4 matches found, click OK. They're mapped. Now we're going to have it run. I knew it. I'm going to leave it here just because I wanted to show people what it is that you will encounter, and how would you know that did you actually link your data. This is Bob Miller. It's not G.I. Joe, which is the default. So you want a default of something that's unique, something that you'll never use, and you know that if you do see it in your data-driven scripts, that it will not show up again. So there you have it. If you like it or you want more details, or if I'm missing out something, please comment. So here we are. Now, I got another thing here, and it's called reports. Now, Let's say for the sake of argument, you were saying, okay, well, what happened? How did it work? Well, there's an option to turn on videos. You click on the video, and it actually goes, hey, look, this is the actual run for this iteration of my data-driven testing. And it's go, hey, look, you see, I did enter the data. It was submitted. There you go. And thank you. I will